Okay, so hi Rashmi, can we get started with the case?
Hi, Akanksha. Yeah, sure.
Cool. So your client is a financial services firm. They have been facing high attrition and they want you to help find a reason and a solution for the same.
So, okay. So I'd just like to ask a couple of preliminary questions, if that's okay with you, to
Sure.
understand the client better.
Yep.
So, when we talk about financial services, so what kind of services are being provided? Like, what is the business model?
Typical like financial services stuff like loans, credit cards, etc.
And what is the geographical presence of the client? Like, where is it
So
based?
yeah, so they operate across all continents. They have a large presence in Europe and the US. However, like the problem that we're talking about, it's being seen at their back-end office in India.
Yeah. Okay, fair. And when we're talking about high attrition, so can you help me if to know that, like, since when are they facing this attrition, like high attrition?
So this has been happening for about 3 years now.
Yeah. And like high attrition, as in, do we have a benchmark as to like what is the normal rate of attrition in this industry and what is the client's attrition rate?
Yeah, so the normal attrition rate in the industry is 20% year on year, but the client has been facing an attrition of 25% year on year.
Okay, interesting. And just one more question is, if you can help me with competitive landscape, as in like, are our competitors also facing the same issue, or is it just client specific?
It's client specific.
So, I'll just get started with the like a broad structure. If you could just give me a couple of seconds.
Sure.
So when we talk about attrition, I want to divide it into two major categories. Like the reasons can be either internal or external. But since you mentioned that this is a client-specific issue and the competitors are not facing this, so I'd like to delve deeper into internal reasons first, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, thank you. And then, so I'll further divide internal into, let's say, financial factors. So financial factors would basically include the salary structure, the financial benefits, bonuses that we offer to our employees, and non-financial would include like all the other non-monetary perks, benefits, let's say the work culture, work environment, and such. So, do you want me to focus on any one of these, or should I go one by one?
Okay, I like this breakdown. So there has been no change in any of the financial incentives.
Yeah.
So we can dive deeper into the non-financial reasons.
Okay, fair. So then, as I said, I'd divide, let's say, non-financial into a couple of further categories. Like for example, one could be the work culture. Another could be non-monetary benefits. Um, um, Another can be, let's say, yeah, the growth opportunities that are available. And the last one, I'd like to make it like other HR policies. Basically, this would include the leave policies, the work from home, work from office policy, etc. So, should we go one by one into each of them, or is like if you could help me with information whether there have been any changes in any of these four factors in the last 3 years that we are looking at?
Yeah, so I'd like you to delve deeper into the other HR policies that you were talking about. If you could just dive into them in a bit more detail.
Okay, sure. So as I said, like the major ones that come to my mind, first is leave policy.
Okay.
Second is work from office or work from home policy. Um, yeah. Uh, that's something that comes to my mind. Sh is that enough, or do you want me to think more on any one of these?
Okay, I think let's dive deeper into the work from office and work from home situation. So, like, could you dive deeper into what exactly you mean by this? What could be the reason related to this?
Yeah. My as per my analysis, now that we are looking at 3 year time period, so I think just right before 3 years in 2021, we our COVID was ending, and we might have started the client might have started the work from office again. So that can be cited as a major reason for attrition. So like there can be two scenarios under this. So either the client has started work from office, but the employees are not willing to come, or like the client is still following work from home, but employees are eager to come back to office for some reasons. For logical reasons, I feel the first one can be the issue, but if that's not the case, then if you can help me further
Yeah,
into.
so interestingly, it's actually the second case. So, the employees want to come back to office, but the client is continuing with work from home. So if you could just help me break it down a bit further, like as to why the employees would want to come back to the office.
Mhm. Okay, fair. Like that's interesting. So, just give me a couple of seconds. I'd list down reasons where employees might be facing issue with work from home and they would want to join back offices.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so these are the four reasons that I could think of where the employees might not be happy with the work from home policy. So first is like the infrastructure requirements. So obviously, if you're working from home, you need to have a silent or calm environment, sitting area with a stable internet connection. Those might be like hampering the work or productivity of the employees. Second is disturbances to or from family. So of course, when you are on calls and meetings, so you need the silence. You might be disturbing the family members or while you're on work. Another reason that I could think of is because, as you said, that this is a back-end office in India, and the major client is majorly located in US and Europe time zone. So the employees might be required to have late night calls as per the US and Europe time zones. So that could be an issue while you are with while you're working from home. And one of the another last reason that I think of is lack of connect with their colleagues. So they are not able to there's no learning, there's no growth because you're not able to physically meet and connect with your colleagues. So do you think any one of these could be an issue? If we have data on this? Sorry, Akanksha, you are on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, it's actually a combination of the second and third problem. So, they
Okay.
have late night calls. You're right about that, which is causing disturbance to their families. And
Okay.
because of that, disturbance, they would prefer to work from the office. So I think, yeah, we've come down to like the reason as to why this is happening.
Hmm.
If you could just help me with a few recommendations on how the client can help solve this issue.
Okay, sure. So, talking about recommendations, I'd like to break down the recommendations into two, like short term and long term. So, the most recommended solution that comes to my mind is that the client should start a hybrid policy as soon as possible, since since the employees on like they are not as productive as they should be, so and there's high attrition. So maybe the client can start with a hybrid policy, which can be as per the convenience of the employee. So they can come for fixed number of days in the week and then work from home. But if the client also thinking from the client point of view also, if they are trying to save costs by not opening up their offices, then maybe they can think of opening the offices majorly like during the night time, because that's when the employees have to work more. So offices can be opened for like selected hours, so that can save costs from the client point of view.
Okay.
And long term, as in it's connected to this as well, but like client can focus on implementing the work from office policy, like a permanent work from office policy, uh, because it's now 3 years since COVID. So I think that is fair as a recommendation. So they can implement a work from office policy.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think I think those are great recommendations, and we can close the case here. So I'll just end by giving Rashmi some feedback. So overall, she was very structured with the problem and broke it down into multiple parts to deal with it. One thing which was really good was the fact that she identified that offices were opening 3 years back. She connected the timeline to the COVID event, and she came down to the work from home versus work from office problem. Another thing that she did really well was giving both scenarios. Most people would automatically assume that people would not want to come back to office, but she laid out both scenarios, which was really good. A few things which could have been done better. So, just when she talked about the reasons as to why the employees would want to come back to office, while she broke down the reasons well, she could have explained them as the day in the life of an employee, to make it more structured. So, that then she would have nailed the problem even earlier. And yeah, her recommendations were good and implementable. And yeah, I think that's all from my end. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Akanksha.